Hey guys, my name is Hamza Khan, and this is my presentation. We'll be going over about security in Ubuntu and Windows Server. So let's start. Operating systems and firewalls are actually relevant hardening techniques, and our course usually just primarily focus on Windows Server right now and the Linux server. So we'll be running through Ubuntu server as well. Alright, so this is the overview. So operating system is Windows Server, Ubuntu server, and then the firewall, as you can see in the picture. Alright, so the focus today will be operating system, namely the version of Windows Server and Ubuntu server that we've been assigned in this course. Operating system is general. We'll have a few more points that will be relevant to our planning, primarily in my research. I found the most important service handled by the OS are stuff like providing an interface for a file system, dealing with memory allocation, and the scheduling of processes, and also, of course, management of the input and output devices and their device drivers. So basically, firewalls there are various types as well as some basic methods for implementation and hardening techniques. So firewalls basic functions: intercept and monitor incoming and outgoing network traffic, analyze traffic based on pre-configured rules and parameters, establish a barrier between a trusted and secure internal network and an outside network like the internet. So let's begin with the basic functions of firewalls. Firewalls are essentially filters for our traffic across the network space. They can come in the form of hardware, software firewalls, and they're going to be placed at the outside barrier of the network. It's also worth noting that you can effectively segment your network environment with multiple firewalls, which is more the standard practice. This actually allows you to essentially have several layered gatekeepers, ideally being to allow you to plan out various network perimeters and have more section and data control of what kind of traffic you're allowing in your network environment. This will obviously be very essential to organize and for many larger organizations depending on the scope of the scale of network resources. We're likely going to see much more complex and thorough arrangement that will be necessary in typical personal networks. So this is data packets and network layers. OSI models start from physical, that's access to media. Then you go to data link, that's local network host delivery. Then a network routing to destination, transport, delivery and sequencing, session, established connection, presentation, encryption and formatting, application, data generation. And that's the diagram of the data, trailer and the header. So data packets are actually a sweet bundle of information. They will typically contain control information like source and destination, info or network addresses, and user data, which is sometimes referred to as a payload. So the payload is what being delivered and the control info is the detail to get it delivered. To go more into the idea of network layers, I've included a pretty big picture here on the right. Widely used OSI model, as you can see, stands for Open System Interconnection Model, and is basically just a model that standardizes communication function in a way that gives us these different layers to kind of distinguish between to get an idea what's happening at a different point in the complex communication process. Oftentimes, with firewalls, we're concerned about the network layer, where all of our packets are screwing around with info about where they come from and the path determination. And also our good friend transport layer, which has those segments with end-to-end connection for our screws to make their way through. What's really important about the transport layer gauges the reliability of data by checking the missing packets. Alright, so these are the types of firewalls: packet filtering firewalls, stateful inspection firewalls, personal firewalls, application proxies, second level gateways. So packet firewalls, it's pretty most basic. Stateless versus stateful. One cog in the machine, and complexity of communication demanded increased complexity of security from firewalls. So this one is stateful inspection. It's the most sophisticated means of packet filtering, also called SPI. It's inspection of payloads, connection requests, and making note of space. Personal firewalls is pretty basic, and that's the one that needs some more security. So it's software based, obviously, often bundled in operating systems, Windows Server, Common OS. Windows Firewall is an example. So a good example of the firewall of this kind will be like something you see on the Windows, such as default Windows firewalls. There's a little pop-up always comes out, says, "Hey, your firewall, blah, here your firewall is this." That's a pretty good sample for a personal firewall. And then we have application proxy firewall. That's a filter on an application layer of the OSI model. Also called bastion host. Can monitor incoming traffic for layer 7 protocols, HTTP and FTP. Resource heavy, can cause single point of failures. This is gateways. So it provides UDP and TCP connections, as you learned in your previous class, I believe. Works between application and transport layers of OSI model. Can be used to set up a VPN. If denied or unverified data can be forwarded to firewall. This is firewall, software based, bulletin host based, stateful, aims to block all unsolicited inbound network traffic and allows all action outbound network traffic. So the rules are inbound, outbound rules, connection security rules. Inbound, outbound rules, as you can see, default NAP traffic, whitelist approach, and advanced security snap and forwarded Windows Server. Windows Server. Prep install, service pack, user account policies, system security settings, network security settings, all these settings, and then network access control, additional protection options. This is the best practice, guys. Like you don't want to get hacked, that's what you gotta do. Ubuntu IPFire is the best thing, obviously, So at the end of the presentation, these are my resources that I've done. So I want to do more explaining, but I literally have, my software can only allow me to do 10 minutes video. So alright guys, bye for now. Hopefully we all get good grades on this. If you have any questions, you can always send me an email, And then you need help with anything?